Hey, and Fook, now I know that you are in Orange County with your salon, and they're allowed to reopen. Have you reopened, and kind of what have you experienced with your salon?
Yes, we opened last week with actually 25% workforce, but actually I don't think the 25% is applied for the nail salon or the barber shop because, for example, if you go into the restaurant, it say capacity is 100, so you maximum your service is 25. So that's why it's 25%. But for the nail salon, I think A you keep the distance 6 feet away from the customer to the manicurist, or the manicurist to the manicurist. It should be okay. But we don't have any guidance or anything to indicate that we're working for 25% of the workforce or whatever it is. Yet when we opened the last week, and because some of the other salon around, they already opened a long time ago, so some of them it very not I believe probably like about 35 or 40% come back to the store. And hopefully, the more days you open, the better the customer coming in, or the better rate of the customer coming in.
There is some confusion whether there is a 25%, a 55% capacity, or no capacity restriction. I think because one of the challenges that we were grouped with a lot of these other industries, like restaurants, right, where they do have restrictions, but it was not expressly stated. At least I don't recall that for nail salons, or individually focused for this industry. Because I heard you say earlier, Vu, I think you said 50%, and Fook, you're at what, 25 or less, and I thought it was 25. I mean, I'll be candid. I'm a lawyer, but I really don't know, because now I'm wondering what do the regulations say? Whether it's a 25% capacity or 50%, let's just call it there some type of capacity restriction. Is that still enough to allow for salons to make enough money to pay rent, cover overhead, pay employees, or are we still going to see salons close down in the coming months? Vu, I know you're off, so what are your thoughts on that?
It's hard, Mike. It's hard with everything going on. They're losing money with 25%, 50%. But one thing I've heard that works is the COVID fee, where owners of the salon can charge a COVID fee for purchasing all these PPE equipment to protect the workers. So that's one thing I heard that has been working with in the nail salon industry.
Recently, we increased like about $3 per service, and I don't see any complaint from the customer at all, because hopefully they understand that when they come in, we have the device to measure their temperature, and we're asking them to sign in on the logbook in case of anything happen. We have someone to trace, and hand sanitizer all over, and myself got to be cleaning after each customer on the chairs and on the equipment, my salon equipment. The manicurist equipment, the manicurist take care of it. So I believe they don't have any problem with that, and everything's going smoothly. But okay. Probably because right now too many salons open, so the amount of customer is going down, a lot down compared to the previous.
All of my clients, restaurants, you name it, every industry has additional costs related to kind of what's going on in the world. But even with those additional charges, I can't imagine that is going to cover the loss of revenues by either any type of capacity restriction, or just there's not enough customers out there. So we're probably still seeing a fair number of salons that won't even be around come late fall, early winter, maybe. Is that fair to say?
For me, I believe we open with 25%, and then we at least we have a couple amount of money for the rent or for supporting the manicurists. But if you spend $100 one time, in 3 months you spend $300. But if you got like about $25 or $30 coming in, your survival will be a little longer. That's what I'm looking at it right now.
Can we make indoors as safe as outdoors?
Yeah, I think we could. I don't think outdoors that safe, to be honest. In my opinion, with the air quality, the wildfires, it's unhealthy right now. It's hot right now. It's super hot. It's dangerous. Being outside, you're not able to control a lot of things, like people not wearing masks, these fumes from cars, and also nail polish. They just dry up faster in the heat, which makes it tougher to do. Most of our members didn't even open outdoors because they said it was just so much trouble doing outdoor. But I believe with the indoor, you follow the reopening guidelines, you space yourself, appointment only, you give your workers time to clean up after each customer. That's the best way you can go during this COVID season.
The core problem, the core issue, and the core resolution. So I think all of the strategy about shutting down or opening is all about controlling the spread of COVID-19, right? Everyone agree?
Mm-hmm.
So as long as we can fulfill that good wish, the wish is slow down the spread, because if the spread is too much, hospital will be overwhelmed. And we cannot have a luxury to wait until the vaccine comes, if it ever comes on time, right? So by shutting down us, the governor and the state want us to control the spread of disease. But if we go outside and then not wearing masks and assume we go outside is the better thing than inside, we're wrong. I told everybody already, I experienced a haircut trip. They work outside and the worker did not wear a mask, and they did not sanitize the chair, right, which has dirty spot. So by doing just what was told and not worrying about other things, it's not the ultimate answer for controlling the spread. Back to your question, working inside it can be much safer than working outside. For example, if you work inside and then you have the device that prevents sneezing and anything like that, and you have the 6 feet away distancing, you don't talk unnecessarily, the chance to have the COVID virus floating around and spread on other people is very low. Compared with working outside and you don't wear a mask and you talk, you laugh, you sneeze, you cough, and you don't sanitize yourself, right? So for me, do what you know to control the spread is better than follow any kind of chasing our own tail policy.
Air filters, buying those air filters, putting them in their salons. If you can't get those big ones inside your salon, we suggest you get those air filters like next to those booths that are open or work on nails or mani-pedis, so they can just clean out the air inside, and also try to keep the doors open. Just filter the inside of the salons as best as you can. We also suggest don't eat in the salons like during your lunch or break. Go outside for a walk. Eat far away from. Don't eat where you work at.
I have a lot of clients, and to the salon owners, you say, Mike, it's hard for me to compensate them as employees. Whatever it is, 8 hours a day, every hour, because there's no guarantee that we're going to even get that many customers. We heard from Anfuku saying that he's seeing competition, not as many people come in. What do we say to those salon owners who are struggling financially, on top of the fact that they've been closed for 4 to 6 months, and they've been dishing out money, paying rent? Employees, independent contractors, what is your response to those folks?
It's a tough question, Mike. So I don't have an answer for that right now. That's our employers are facing the same crisis right now. So it's a hard question for us. We're still talking about it as a team.
This time is actually tough for me because we don't have enough customer coming in, so we have to work like double or triple time. We got to schedule for the manicurists come in a couple hours each of them a day or something. So some of them they don't want to work 1 or 2 days or something, but some of them still willing to work for 1 or 2 days. So we got to schedule for them coming in, even slow, but when they come in, they got a couple hours to work, and then we have enough customer for them to work on.
You reduced the total number of technicians working at your salon, not so much because of any capacity restrictions, but because there's just not enough business.
Yes, definitely. Right now is we actually will not apply for the 25% workforce, but because of the customer amount coming in, so we automatically in 25% workforce.
I'm looking at the comment on our live Facebook feed, and I think the viewer was talking about. If I'm reading his question correctly, remember, Vu, I said a couple episodes ago we had Tony on our show, and he said that they had some guidelines that they were recommending to their members and industry professionals, and I asked, so what are some of the guidelines? And then Tony mentioned a couple, and then there were some other ones that I didn't recall as being part of any recognized government guidelines. So I asked Tony, was this from another agency? It's something that we as a collab recommend to go above and beyond for safety standards. And so I guess if I'm reading this comment correctly, or this question correctly, is with respect to those recommended guidelines, are they putting the health standards as something that's mandatory? The quote unquote the additional things that the collab has recommended as mandatory, or are you guys telling the salon members, okay, salon owners, this is what the state requires, this is what we are also recommending above and beyond that, but are you making it clear this is our recommendation versus this is what's being mandated, which wouldn't be factually correct?
No, this is just if folks want to protect themselves more, because our guidelines go more in depth than the states. To protect themselves during COVID. We felt like, we have a scientific committee who came up with these reopening guidelines, and we also tested with our nail salon owners who thought it was acceptable, and it's easy to, not easy, but it was fair to do. It was a good opportunity for them to go with.
Okay, so you mentioned something that's great. So you have a scientific committee, or if I said right, a scientific committee. I've worked with various organizations that have done the guidelines. Are the folks on your committee? I always ask everyone. They ask me to join. Are they PhDs, MDs, or is it folks giving out just their quote unquote layperson's opinion?
PhDs and some public health folks.
Okay, all right. So that way, and the reason why I'm asking this question is because I know there are folks that are going to be interested in the Salon collab. So this is an opportunity where maybe I'm asking questions that they may not get to ask directly from you, just because they don't have the opportunity. And then the folks that are on your committee, are their guidelines being sent up to Sacramento to work with the governor's office, or is it just something that's within your organization?
No, it's with our org, but we also send it to BBC to look over. So yeah.
Hey Kelvin, maybe I have a thought here.
Yes, sir.
Probably you haven't heard of it because you're a male. You don't have to worry about miscarriages.
Right? Okay. Yeah. I know.
It might seem funny, but hey,
no. It's true.
Just a thought, because I don't hear about it either. But
no, it's true. Like I said, I'm not here to. I'm just questioning. I'm questioning not to say that it's incorrect information. So let's get that clear, folks. Because if they do, if the collaborative do have a scientific research and testing on the miscarriage, then I gotta like what I learned from Mr. Tong Vu. You got to obey the data. So even the chemist, the scientist is questioning. So that's a scientist, Vu. So just keep that in mind. I'm not that at the level. I'm just a nail pro, maybe not your average nail pros, but I am an average nail pros where, man, damn. Okay, that can cause miscarriage. That does have an impact on maybe not only the nail pros that's getting into the profession, okay, but also the customer, if they hear it on the news somewhere that, oh my God, being in the nail salon even could cause, because you know how story it evolves, right, Boo? You say A, next the 10th guy is gonna say Z. Okay, so you already know that's the fact. So that's a big topic, and we just want to get clear as to what kind of message the collaborative is putting out there. All right, folks, once again, this is Kelvin Pham for VietNAILTV. Thank you so much for joining us today on the VN Group. What a great discussion. We want to say special thank you to Mr. Nguyen for jumping on board and answering some of those hard questions and so forth. We really appreciate you, my young brother. Okay, hopefully we'll be able to have another guest back on to answer some of the questions that you could answer today.